Before we start, just a reminder that you can find all the lesson notes on my little handmade website, pocketjapanese.com. Lessons 1 to 5 are completely free, and you can find printout worksheets, structured lessons. After lesson 5, there is a small fee to help keep the website running. Thank you very much for your support so far, and I hope you enjoy this lesson. Today I'll be explaining how Japanese names work and also how to write your name in Japanese. Japanese names typically consist of a family name followed by a given name, opposite to the Western naming convention. The family name, the surname. In Japan, the family name comes first. This is used to identify a person's family lineage/heritage. Common family names include Sato, Suzuki, Takahashi, etc. A given name follows. This name is often chosen by parents and can have specific meanings based on the kanji characters used. For example, Hiroshi could mean generous. Yuki can mean snow or happiness, depending on the kanji. Names are usually written in kanji, which are characters borrowed from Chinese, or at least they originate from Chinese. I love it when they call it borrowed, as if they're going to give them back. Each kanji has its own meaning and pronunciation. The combination of, if you've done my kanji lesson, you'll know that some have a lot more than one pronunciation and meaning. If not, I recommend checking it out. The combination of kanji in a name often conveys a particular meaning or aspiration that parents have for their child. The same kanji can be pronounced differently, leading to different names. Similarly, the pronunciation can be written with the same pronunciations can be written with different kanji, giving different meanings to names that sound alike. In Japanese, many kanji characters share the same pronunciation but have different meanings. For example, the name Yuki can be written with kanji for snow or happiness, among others. Although these names often sound the same when spoken, the different kanji gives them a distinct meaning and visual representation. Conversely, a single kanji character can often be pronounced in multiple ways. This means that the same kanji can be part of different names depending on its pronunciation. For instance, the kanji ikiru, ki, nama, umareru, among others, leading to various name possibilities like Haruki or Namiko. In Japanese culture, people rarely call each other by their first names unless they are very close. Instead, honorifics are used after the surname, like san for general use, kun for younger males, chan for children or close friends, sama for showing great respect. In international context, some Japanese people might reverse the order of their name to align with the Western format, placing the given name first and the family name last. Understanding Japanese names can be a bit complex due to variations in kanji and cultural nuances associated with naming. It does become easier when you start to recognize names that are commonly first names and last names. What's my name in Japanese? Writing a Western name in Japanese typically involves using katakana. Katakana is often used for foreign words, names, and loanwords. Here's how it's generally done. Keep in mind I'm saying general. People who are maybe better at Japanese sometimes assign themselves kanji that work for their name. If you're a beginner, you're going to look at katakana and just turning your name into katakana. Sound. You start by breaking down the name into its phonetics and finding the closest corresponding katakana characters. Japanese phonetics may not always perfectly match the sounds of other languages, so this is often an approximation. Just as a note as well, you kind of need to be a bit familiar with the Japanese sounds, or at least the Japanese katakana, to do this. It just makes it easier trying to find the sounds that fit your name. Use katakana characters to represent these sounds. For example, the name David would be approximated as Davido in katakana. Since Japanese primarily uses syllable-based characters, names containing sounds that don't neatly fit into the structure are adapted as closely as possible. For instance, the sound in Elizabeth would be adapted to Elizabesu, as there is no direct th sound in Japanese. Long vowel sounds in Western names are represented by a specific katakana character, and this one's very important. For example, the name Marie would be Marie, which is a long E sound. denoted by an additional character, this little line here. This character indicates a long vowel sound in katakana. If you've studied a bit before, or if you've studied hiragana, you'll know in hiragana, if they want to extend a vowel, they'll just add another vowel or whatever. In katakana, they have this extra character that is used to extend a sound, and it's kind of just this little line. Some sounds in Western languages don't exist in Japanese, such as L and B, and the distinct R. These characters are substituted with the closest Japanese sound, like R, like the little RL sound. Okay, so we are going to look at the Pocket Japanese katakana chart. You can find it on pocketjapanese.com. If you go to lesson 1, there is a katakana section, and if you click on it, you can find this chart. This chart is a very detailed chart. It shows absolutely everything you might need, and you can also click on it to hear the sounds. So for example,
a,
ka,
ki.
ki. This will help you figure out what sounds you might need for a name. Using a katakana chart like this is quite easy. So you just need to find the consonant and then go along. So the top row here is a,
I, u, e,
o, and then ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. All of these katakana in bold are kind of like your base katakana. All of these ones on the side here and at the bottom down here stem from the base. So here we have kya, which all come from the E column here. Kyu, kyo. You can see this first character here is this character here, ki. You can see that this first character here is this character here, etc. And then we add a second character, which is either ya, you, or yo. So
ya, you, yo.
Which is how we get these little combinations of kya, kyu, kyo. Down here, we have kind of like variation sounds of the original katakana. So we have like, when we add these two little lines to ka up here,
ka,
we get ga, gi, gu, ge, go. So when you're trying to spell a name in Japanese, again, this is going to help you a ton if you have some knowledge of Japanese. You can go through lesson 1 of Pocket Japanese, and it kind of explains the writing systems. I also have a video on this if you need any extra help. You can also consult someone if you know anyone who is Japanese for some help. Again, Google Translate isn't actually that bad at translating names into Japanese. I'm just going to say it there. I wouldn't say it's perfect. By all means, like there's some translations it will give me and I'm like, I can make something better than that, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so let's go through some names. We want to make the name Louise first. So Louise. Nice and easy. We go easy. We don't have an L sound, but we have an R sound. So we're going to go with Lu. So we go to R and then we go to U. Lu. E. We do have that. So just as a note, the sounds might not sound how you expect them to. It's not actually going to be the E, it's going to be
E.
And then we want Zu, because we don't have Louise in Japanese. The closest thing we can get is Zu, Ruizu. So there's no Z here, but there is a variation of S down here.
Z.
Zu, Ruizu. So Louise will be
E. Z.
I would actually say it takes a tiny bit of getting used to Japanese to be able to do this. You need to be quite familiar with the katakana sounds. So it's not the easiest thing. Again, you'll probably want to consult with someone first. However, you'll probably also be able to make something that sounds good enough to you if you try this. Let's do another name that's maybe a bit more difficult. Let's go for something like Robert. That's going to be Ro. So we have the R, and we go find O.
Ro.
Ro. We then want something that's kind of like Bert. So we're going to go ba, ba. I get this very tempting to be like be, Roberto, or something like that, but it's actually Roberto in Japanese. Again, this is one of those things that you might have to study Japanese before to kind of get that it's going to be Roberto rather than Roberto, or even to just know when to put like a long vowel sound in. Google Translate, even ChatGPT will help you with this if you really need extra help. Might not be perfect, but yeah. Things like Robert as well, that's quite a common name, so it has been translated to Japanese before. So we do know that this one is going to be Roberto. If you had maybe like a very unique name, that might be a bit harder, but yeah. Ro. So we're going to go down here, look for ba.
Ba.
And then this one's actually going to have a long vowel sound. I can't really put that in on here. It's going to have that little line. And then it's going to make it roba. And then we're going to have to, which there is.
To.
Robato. So,
Ro. Ba.
long vowel sound, ba. Roba.
To.
To. Robato is Robert. Cool. Just as a note, if I haven't mentioned it already, the reason we're using katakana is in Japanese, they use this alphabet for foreign words. So this is the alphabet for foreign words. Each Western name will have its unique katakana representation based on these principles. It's an interesting process that reflects the blending of languages and cultures. Here is my very important note. Google Translate is generally okay at translating names to Japanese. It does not do a bad job most of the time. So if you're ever wondering, chuck it into Google Translate, see what it comes up with, and then you can kind of like pick and choose. You can also look at, I know a lot of people hate them, but there's a lot of AI devices these days that might be able to help you, such as like ChatGPT, etc. Okay, that's the end of this lesson. I hope this lesson was informative on just some basic Japanese cultural notes. If you enjoyed this lesson, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps my little channel. I also have a website. All of my notes here are on my website, so you can go and check that out. It's pocketjapanese.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time.